welcome, beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, welcome, beautiful people. I see so many people joining. Hi, thank you for joining. So happy to have you here today on the live. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, guys. I'm Bernitha Rena, host of the Bernitha Rena Relates podcast, and I am absolutely thrilled to be live with you today. We are counting down one of the most transformational events of the year, the Inspire Her Next Chapter conference happening August 29th through August 30th at the Hilton Dallas Anatole. And so it's going to be so much fun. This conference is more than an event. It is a movement, a sacred space for women and men navigating the unexpected, whether it's career pivots or health challenges, financial hardships, or just trying to rediscover who you are. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to be talking about it today and giving you little tidbits, little bites of what you can expect at this amazing conference. And so today, I have the honor of sitting down with some phenomenal people, just an amazing lineup of speakers and coaches and trailblazers, women who are walking testimonies, really, of purpose and power and possibility. So let's just dive right in. Our first guest is the heartbeat of this whole experience. She is the visionary founder behind Her Next Chapter, and it is a virtual women's community that empowers women to connect, grow, and thrive. So please, please help me welcome the incomparable Tracy, otherwise known as Lady Shab.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, beautiful ladies. Thank you for having me back and helping to support the Inspire Her conference for 2025 in August.
Lady Shab, I've got to ask you, was your original dream when you started Her Next Chapter that it would grow like this? I just want to know, how has that dream grown into what we're seeing now and here today?
Okay, that's a big question with a long story behind it, but I'm going to condense it and make it real to the point. The vision started, 2011. Okay. And it was just a vision. And then that vision, which was my calling, kept lingering because I kept procrastinating until one day in 2015, God told me, woke me up and said, your excuses have expired. You need to get up and move. The vision originally, Bernitha, was empowering women, whatever that means. And empowering women is like that means so many different things to everyone, every individual. What may empower you may not empower me, and vice versa. But it took from 2015 giving birth and putting everything into development and recruiting incredible co-founders and volunteers to 2025 to realize this year alone that Her Next Chapter is not an empowerment environment or platform. It is a God-based ministry that empowers women to be their best, to evolve into who they want to be, and to grow in their faith and their walk and their journey.
Thank you, Lady Shab. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful and appreciative of you being here today. And we're going to have you back at the end of this program to kind of wrap things up. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you soon. Next up is a world-renowned photographer who blends creativity with neuroscience. She's been featured on Oprah, Disney, Sony, and so many more. She and her husband own an amazing photography studio right here in Texas, Frisco, Texas to be exact. So please welcome to the stage the radiant Mera Co.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and talk with you and all of your listeners. It's going to be fun.
Mera, so happy to have you here. Mera, you help women rediscover their strength through photography. What does it mean to heal through the lens?
Okay, that's a great question. Yes, my husband and I, we combine neuroscience with photography. We've been photographers for over 20 years, but it was really in 2020 that we felt like God put it on our heart to help people see their resilience, help people see how strong they are. And so then became this whole journey of how do we do that and in a way that has impact. And so we started experimenting with different things and over the last couple of years came up with a whole method that actually is our whole nonprofit is based off of that we launched last month. But it is a method that takes you through a full day experience to be able to step into your greatest self, to be able to really see yourself the way God sees you, the way the ones you love and trust see you. Because I think so often we have a disconnect. Like we maybe have like positive statements on our bathroom mirror or, like mantras and things that we like remind ourselves, whether they're Bible verses or not. But this is really about like what Romans 12 talks about and renewing your mind so that you may be transformed. And so the whole experience that we are giving individuals is the opportunity to hear, like our team will do calls with their loved ones before they even come in. And so as they're going through hair and makeup, as they're being photographed, we are sharing these words of life that their loved ones have shared with us and how they would describe their resilience. And it's the most amazing, magical, incredible experience ever. Like, because I know like hundreds of poses that I can do with you, but there's something different about calling out who you are, calling out those qualities and those attributes. And as it is manifesting in you, that is when we're going to take the photo so that you can see that of yourself every single day on the wall. You see it big, and it is not meant to be like, oh, look at how beautiful I am, but look at how resilient I am. Look at how my joy is still there despite what I've gone through. Look at how strong I am. And it's different for everybody that comes, but in being able to see that every single day, it is literally on a neuroscience level, rewiring what your brain thinks about yourself, how your brain sees yourself. And then from there, like it's crazy the breakthrough that happens for people over the next month of seeing that every day to the next year to 2 years, the stories that we get back, that their starting point has completely changed. Like the level that they start their whole day on has been raised because they don't have to try to think about who is my greatest self. They just see her. They get to access her and like go from there.
When you think of this conference and what it offers, what moment are you most excited to witness or even create?
Oh, the one thing I really love about this conference that I am so excited about and honored to be able to be a part is all the women that are coming that are entrepreneurs that have like whether they are already like whether they've already launched that dream that's inside of them or they have that entrepreneurial spirit that God put inside them that they cannot shake it. And I am so excited to speak to that heart, especially the ones that are creative in some aspect. I mean, we are all creative, like period. Right? But the ones that feel like this is too out of the box or this is too left field, I'm really excited to like encourage and inspire them with so many stories that I'm going to be bringing of just how God like has over the last 25 years led us and helped us evolve again and again into really like finding what our true calling is. Because I think a lot of us start with a vision of what we want to do, and we almost think that that's the end all, but it's often like it's just her next chapter, right? It's the conference is perfect. It's just her next chapter, and yet there are things that we are meant to extrapolate from this chapter. There are lessons and tools to be gained that are going to take us into her next chapter, the chapter after that. until I feel like you get to a place where Brian and I find ourselves like 20 plus years down the road of, oh my gosh, we have found our life's calling. Like that, it's like interesting to me, like purpose, I feel like is a little bit different than calling in the sense of this is the purpose for this season. And then, whoa, this is the calling for the rest. Like, this is the calling on my life. Like, all those seasons and purposes have led to what this is about and what I'm meant to do. And so that's what I'm excited to kind of touch on when we're all together at the conference.
Wow. If you are as excited as I am right now, can you do me a favor and just put a Y in the comments for yes? Drop a Y in the comments because I'm excited. If you're excited, if you want to say yes to this, if you're just excited to be here today, drop a Y in the comments for yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So our next guest is the author of Grant Me Vision, and she's a living miracle. She is a survivor, a speaker, and a symbol of unbreakable strength. Please help me welcome Miss Sabrina Greenlee.
Well, thank you for having me.
Sabrina, I'm so excited to have you here today, and I'm so excited to hear more from you at the conference. But what I want to ask you today is, you faced darkness that could have destroyed you, but you rose up and now you help others do the same. What message are you bringing to the women at the conference who may feel like, giving up?
The message that I most want the women at the conference to know is that no matter what you go through, no matter what adversity that you face, that you are enough and that you can get over it. So my message is just a message of power and strength. I want every woman in the room to be able to look at me and say at the end of my message that, oh my God, look what she went through. And if she can go through that, then there's nothing that I can't do.
Thank you, Sabrina. That was so powerful. And I can't wait to hear more from you at the conference. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon. Bye. Next up, we have a maverick in every sense of the word. She is raw, she is real, she is honest, and she is just radically herself. A trailblazer in corporate leadership and the author of Don't Wait 50 Years to Say F It. Please welcome Carol West.
Hello. Hey, everyone. Hi.
Hey, Carol. Thank you so much for being here today. Carol, I love your book, and I just want to know, you created a movement around saying F it. What does that word truly mean to you?
So what does F it really mean? F it really is a movement. It is about F the limitations, F the fear, F restrictions. So often in life, we live to meet the expectations of others. And don't wait 50 years is a message to young, to middle age, to older people to understand that you can live unapologetically free. I have this shirt on today because I'm free to be me. And oftentimes we're just running around trying to serve others. But the bottom line is F it is about being authentically you, stepping into your space, your divine purpose, and letting go of all of the restrictions and the limiting beliefs that have kept you in a stagnant place.
Yes. And Carol, you coach others to live unapologetically. How will your message challenge women who attend the Inspire Her Next conference event?
I'm going to teach a class that is the art of authenticity. And when we think about women, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s, we play a variety of roles. We are mothers, we are sisters, we are daughters, we are friends, we are employees, and we are employers. And when you think about those roles we play, none of them are inward reflecting. And so when I think about the art of authenticity, I'm going to challenge the audience to take a pause and do a self-assessment to understand what motivates them, what inspires them, who are they authentically on the inside, because oftentimes we are so busy serving others that we have no idea how to stop and realize that we are the most important person in the world.
Love it. Thank you, Carol. I'll see you soon, doll. Thank you so much for being here today. Please help me welcome this nationally certified recovery coach and fierce advocate for families affected by addiction. She's also the founder of the Jewel Recovery Center, my friend, Miss Marquita Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Marquita, welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you live with us here today. I want to hear about your unique voice and the insight that you're bringing to the conference stage.
I'll be bringing the insight and perspective of how to support those that struggle with substance use and or mental health, and just how to support them along their journey to get them to recovery. And so I'll be talking about some solutions as it relates to that.
Marquita, you've seen how addiction doesn't just affect the individual. It actually ripples through the whole family. What do you hope people will learn after experiencing this conference and hearing you speak from a personal place about addiction?
What I hope people take away from that, from the conference, is how to take care of themselves, how to use the airplane method when you're on a plane. In case of lost cabin pressure, put the mask on yourself first, and then how to support their loved ones, and knowing the difference and some of the boundaries to set, and understanding the difference between, enabling, helping, and tough love. Sometimes people don't understand that, it's all about just being authentic and transparent. And so what I hope that they get from this is just how to effectively support their loved ones who are struggling and are in treatment. And also for those who decide, I don't want treatment. So what do we do as parents when our loved one has made a decision that they don't want treatment, or any type of loved one? So I hope that they walk away armed with the information that would then create transformation in their lives and in their loved ones' lives.
Now that's good. Thank you, Marquita. We'll see you at the conference.
Thank you.
Our next guest is a wife, an entrepreneur, an author, and the founder of I Am Wife Foundation. Through her work, she has redefined what it means to be a suitable helper. Let's welcome Suzanne Jefferson Stroman.
Hello, I am so happy to be here. I cannot wait to dig deeper.
Suzanne, I want you to speak to the heart of wives across the country. What's one truth that you want every wife, including myself, want to know walking into this conference?
Yeah, I would say be mindful of every hat that you wear walking into this conference, because we will touch on every last one of them. Be mindful of them. And I say it that way because a lot of times we don't think about all of the things that we do as wives. As a wife, I am a business owner. I am a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a friend. I'm an aunt. I'm all of these things, and something different is required of me in each role. So I would say, please take stock of every space that you hold when you enter this conference so that God can feed you there.
Yes. I appreciate that tidbit and that teaser. So I know we're going to learn a lot at the Inspire Her Next Chapter conference, and I look forward to seeing you there. And thank you so much for being here today. So if you guys are ready for more, do me a favor and type ready in the comments. Type ready or just type R. Give me some feedback. Let me know you are ready for more. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so very much. Guys, the lady coming up, all I can say is, wow. She is a dynamic speaker and the creator of Creating Mental Wealth TV show and many other TV shows. She has a legacy in leadership and a heart for mental health. Please help me welcome Miss Sherry James.
First of all, thank you so much for having me.
Sherry, you've built something beautiful out of pain, a platform for people to heal out loud, as you say. When you think of mental wellness, how can this conference help people take their first steps towards healing?
Some of us are moving into another chapter, the next step in our life. And this event is going to give women the opportunity to just be free, because this is a safe space. I've had the opportunity to be a part of several of the meetings that we've had before, and knowing when women are in a safe space to share whatever it is that they're carrying, it weighs on us. But we never really can talk about it. No one really wants to hear our stuff. They want us to take theirs. And so I think this conference will give women the opportunity to say, hey, I'm going through a thing, and I would appreciate some other women helping me through this thing, because maybe someone else has been through that and someone else has experienced it, and they can give us feedback on how to deal with that. So this conference gives women a safe space, a truly safe space, because some people say that and it's not really, but a genuine safe space to be able to say, here's the things that are going on. Some of them are going great. And some of them I need a little help with. And so I'm excited to be able to be a part of this event where women can grow and change.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much. And I cannot wait to see you at the conference.
Thank you.
As a co-pastor and CEO of Longevity Behavioral Health, this guest blends faith and trauma recovery into powerful transformation. Please welcome Alicia Johnson.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Alicia, your work dives deep into trauma and family history. What do you want women to rediscover or discover for the first time about themselves at this conference?
There is not one living person that does not have some form of trauma. And a lot of times when we think about trauma, we think about, some type of sexual abuse, or we think about an accident that might have happened, or a person that might have died that was close to you. But trauma could be anywhere that gets you stuck. Like you could be, your earliest memory could be playing on the playground and someone knocked you off the swing and called you stupid. And like when I do my work and I say, what is your earliest memory of trauma? It could be anything, because trauma is a fragmentation of your soul, and it fragments you. And then there's a piece of you that is broken, and a lie basically is defined at that place of trauma, whether it was, I'm stupid, nobody wants to play with me, I'm not worthy, whatever that lie is, it formulates, it gets planted in your soul. And then what happens is it gets perpetuated throughout life by circumstances and situations. So what I would like to tell someone, at the conference is that all of us have trauma, and in order for the trauma to become purposeful or powerful in your life is that you go back to that place of trauma and you process it and you redefine it, where it's no longer a negative, but it's actually something that can be used for your now. So when I was 8 years old, was my earliest memory of trauma is I was molested by a piano teacher. And the way that situation played out was I told my parents, and they kept questioning me over and over again. And then they finally called the police. And when they called the police came over and they questioned me over and over again. And then they left my house. And about 15 minutes later, they brought the man that molested me to the house, and he was visibly, distraught and upset. And then he kneeled down on the ground and took me by the hand and said I would never do anything like that to anybody, while the police were patting him on his back and asking him to forgive them for disturbing him. And they walked him out of my house. And from that day forward, no one said anything to me again about that incident. It was like it never happened. But in this 8-year-old little mind, it was, I'm not worthy. What did I do to ask for this? I must have done something. I'm not worth being fought for or taken, defended. And with that lie was planted in me to have to deal with that all by myself. And so over the years, every time something happened to me, every time an abuse happened, I was blaming myself. Like, maybe this is something that I asked for, so my self-worth and my identity was like being, was being stripped away from me. And with my identity went my voice as well. So I grew up when I started dealing with things triggered, when I began to be triggered, I began to act out like an 8-year-old, because at 8, that was a fragmentation that happened in my soul that caused me not to grow up and not mature emotionally and psychologically. So I acted out as an 8-year-old. And so that's all of our lives. So my thing is, I want people in the conference to know that they don't have to stay in that broken place. And with God's grace, he says, what the enemy meant for evil, I will turn it around for your good. And it was when I began to go back into my life and start processing out that pain that it became power to me. And that's why I'm sitting here before you now.
Yeah. And how does faith guide the work you do, especially when it comes to women who are walking through emotional healing?
Oh, it is everything. My walk with Jesus Christ, I would not be sitting here right now if it wasn't for my relationship with God. I was on a self-destructive spiral early in my age, because of the traumas in my life. My father was an alcoholic. My mother was bipolar, and she was not diagnosed. So my early childhood years were crazy. And so I was on a downhill spiral. And at 23 years old, I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And that was the beginning. That was just the beginning. Okay. A lot of times people think, well, if I turn to faith, if I turn to God, everything in my life is going to be okay. No, that's just the beginning. There is a process after that of your mind, your soul being renewed, being regenerated, established or regenerated, you have to go through, and that's through the Word of God. So the more I got into the Word of God and realized who I was to God, then I began to be healed, and He began to, walk me through areas of my life that I needed to forgive people, because unforgiveness keeps you trapped, in that cycle of abuse. And so I began to forgive people. I began to do things, the hard things, because part of those lies that were being planted in my life, and in psychology, they're called errors of thought. I felt like I was a failure. So I was also a high school dropout. I was also a drug addict for 10 years of my life. So there were many things that got embedded in me that formed who I was, or who I thought I was, that had to be undone. And so my faith in God was, having this personal relationship with Him, not just a religious experience, not just going to church, not just singing a song, not just praying a prayer, but actually having a relationship with Him and allowing Him to be Lord over my life and walking me in different directions and saying, okay, now it's time to get your GED, at 36. And I'm like, why? And He didn't say why. He just wanted obedience. And so I got my GED, and then 6 months after that, I was hired at IBM as a software engineer with only a GED. But I said, God, why did I have to get my GED? And he said, because I needed you to face the fear of failure. And as I said, I was a high school dropout at 17, thinking that I was dumb, thinking that I couldn't accomplish. So him telling me to get my GED was like facing my Goliath, right? You've got to face this thing that has kept you in bondage, that tells you you can never overcome, that you can never be anything that you are right now. So there were just these steps that God was constantly taking me into that allowed me to evolve.
Thank you, Alicia. I've got your daughter coming right up next. Hey, Angela, I just had your mom on. Welcome. Angela is the founder of Angela's Soul Restoration and the host of the Soul Restoration Conference. She helps women heal from trauma and walk into wholeness. Please welcome Angela Johnson.
Awesome. Hey, I'm so excited to be here.
Hi, Angela. Angela, so much of your work centers around restoration. How do you define restoration, and how can women start that journey?
Yeah. So when I started this restoration process, I had to look at the definition of restoration, and it pretty much means to bring back to its original state, right? To restore back to where it was originally was back before it was fragmented, before things were trauma happened in your life, things that may have happened to you that just fragmented your heart, to bring back to your original self. So, my mom made mention of some of the trauma and things that she has gone through. And for me, there was a lot of trauma in my life that I had experienced. And I think every disappointment, every betrayal, every rejection, it just kind of broke off a piece of my heart. And so my heart was fragmented. And so restoration is just really bringing back those pieces together, getting your voice back, getting your identity back, regaining your innocence, for those that have experienced molestation at a young age, such as myself, as my mom, and so many women have experienced that. And so it's really like regaining back your voice and who you are, and restoring you to where you were once, just full of energy, full of joy, bold, confident, no shame, no guilt, and just really restoring those pieces again. To answer your second part of the question, I feel like women can start. The way to get started on restoration is really identifying the areas of your soul that has been fragmented. What has been broken? Do you feel like you no longer have the confidence anymore? Are you second guessing yourself in everything that you do? Do you have this victim mentality? Like, this happened to me, woe is me, and now I can't, flourish. Now I can't be who God has created me to be. But identifying that. And then once you identify it, you have to go back to those places where your heart was fragmented, where that pain entered, where there was a lie of the enemy that made you feel like you weren't worthy enough, that you weren't good enough, and that no one would love you. No one, the enemies the lies that the enemy tells us. And so it's really bringing those pieces back together. So I think number one is identifying those areas of your soul. And, your soul is your mind, your will, and emotions. When the way you think about yourself, the way you picture different situations and scenarios, how you view others, that thing with rejection was really hard for me. That was one of the areas that I really struggled in growing up. And even as an adult, I have to continue to fight that thing, because if someone tells me no, or someone, doesn't choose me for this or doesn't choose me for that, or, it's that seed of rejection that I have to constantly say, no, that's not what that is. It's just not my time, God. It's not me, or sometimes when you're in a relationship and someone walks away from you and they, decide to not be with you or to choose someone else, it's the enemy would always use those lies and make me feel like I was unworthy. And so it's really identifying where did these lies start? Where did they begin? And asking the Lord into your heart and asking him to heal those places. And he's such a gentle giant that he holds your hand through that process and through that healing journey. So
thank you, Angela. I appreciate you. Before we close, I want to invite back our lady Shab, whose vision made all of this possible. She is the founder of Her Next Chapter, and she has helped to create the Inspire Her Next Chapter conference. Lady Shab, welcome back. Can you share what's on your mind, what's on your heart right now, and just give us some final words?
I am in awe. I am so honored to have been given this vision by my Heavenly Father, God. And the willpower and desire to put it in execution. But I must tell you, Bernitha, you're the one that interviewed all these amazing, and I don't know another better word to describe these women other than I am just honored and thrilled to be sitting at the table with them. These are women that are so powerful, that have so much to add and feed into our lives from their experience, from their knowledge, from their resources. Every walk on this earth, they have touched in some way, some form. And I am excited on 29th of August and the 30th of August, women that are going to come to this conference and how they are going to personally transform and leave that room full, cup overflowing, and may have come in empty, or just may have come in to just get confirmation. Everybody's not empty, okay? But sometimes we need to be fed. We need to get confirmation. We need to be still and just receive. I remember you saying this, you haven't been on the receiving end of the table. You're always the giving. And even these women that are facilitators, advisors, counselors, doctors, are sitting in a conference so that they can receive, whatever there is for them. We have women flying in for this conference. It's going to be amazing. What I want women to get is what she wants to get out of this conference. And there's a topic, information for every woman that walks through that door. Even if she just needs a prayer and a hug, we are there for you. We got your back. We got your back, sis. So join us.
Thank you, Lady Shab, and thank you to all the ladies who joined me here today and the many, many more who will be speaking at the conference. And thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be with me here today. I know you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate you for it. Listen, you can go to hernextchapter.org to scoop up your tickets. It's going to be a fantastic conference. I hope to see you there. And again, thank you so much for listening. I love you for it. We'll talk soon. Bye for now. Bye. Thank you, ladies. Bye. Bernitha Rena Relates is proud to collaborate with Her Next Chapter, a nonprofit devoted to building the bridge to inner peace, balance, and self-assurance. Both our platforms share the same message: to create space for real women to connect, heal, and grow. Her Next Chapter recently kicked off their monthly luncheon series, sponsored by an amazing community partner, Credit Union of Texas. Women networked, fellowshipped, and shared compelling stories like these.
We all are on the mission, all of us.
I think for an immigrant who came to the U.S. and I felt this country opened the door for me to do so many things.
I am the founder and CEO of Hugs from Heaven School's Gift.
Our story is so unique because we share a baby daddy.
I'm so fortunate that I get to work for a company that supports my values, and I get to do the things that I love.
It's not so much you showing up for us, Her Next Chapter, but also how Her Next Chapter can show up for you and your mission and your cause.
You can follow @for Bernitha Rena Relates and @Her Next Chapter to find out more about next month's luncheon. But now, something incredibly special is on the horizon. Her Next Chapter's annual conference is happening August 29th through August 31st at the beautiful Hilton Anatole in Dallas, Texas, featuring the renowned Mera Co and Sabrina Greenlee, as well as many other special guests. Expect a weekend of fun, connection, clarity, and stepping into your next chapter. And just in time, I'm releasing an exclusive one-on-one interview with Her Next Chapter founder, Lady Shab. Hear her heart, her story, her vision for every woman. ready to rise. So tune in, show up, and step boldly into what's next.
What's been